Hey guys, it's Sabrina here. Before I get started, I know that some of my friends are going to be cracking jokes on me as to why I'm over here post up next to this damn plant. Yes, it's because I'm Haitian. You know, Caribbean people, our parents, and it comes down to us too. Like, we love being post up next to plants and flowers, and we got to have the whole, thing that we do. So, I'm just kidding. But, while we're all in laughter and spirit of laughter, don't you guys forget to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Like the videos, check out some of the other content I got going on, and definitely let me guys know what you think. Go down in the comment section, let me know how you feeling, and yeah, let's chat. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys one of my notes that I took when I was doing an independent Bible study of mine, which I try to do, in the morning times when I first wake up, but it's not every day. I'm trying to get to the whole everyday thing, but so this was done earlier this month, so I don't really remember too much of the details that I had going on. So that's why I'm gonna actually read out the notes that I wrote down, so that way it can kind of help me to get into the flow of what I need to say a lot better. Okay, so this is based off of Proverbs chapter 10, verse 5. So I start by saying, verse 5 goes on to say, whoever gathers in the summer is a wise son. Whoever sleeps at harvest time brings shame. This is God commanding us to get a hold of our finances, educating us on the importance of hard work and financial literacy. Many Christians like to live their lives thinking that God is going to just always bless them as long as they serve Him and do what's right. They don't realize that serving God also means being fluent in your financial education. There can be a lot of different factors that come into play when it comes to the reasons why some people aren't good at handling finances. Lack of education, limited resources, lack of time, etc., etc. Well, God just simplified things for us a bit. In this verse, He's telling us that all we need to do is just start with saving. That's it. If you really pay attention to the text, He's saying gathering in the summer is just another way of Him saying work really hard so you can have a surplus. In other words, God doesn't want us living paycheck to paycheck. That's really all that verse comes down to. If you look at the ants, for example, they're the epitome of this truth. Ants get overlooked and stepped on daily. Yet, that doesn't stop them from following through with whatever tasks that they had originally. Humans, on the other hand, we get hit with one bump in the road and we're already ready to claim defeat. Financial freedom isn't easy, but the risk is worth the reward. I love how verse 14 says, those who are wise store up knowledge, but mouths of stubborn fools invite ruin. We all gain knowledge in some way or another, but to store up knowledge is on another level. It means that you don't let what you learn go in one ear and then out the other. You actually take away a lot of the gems that are being taught to you. God loves that because He understands that we will need them at another point of our future. Many Christians will go to church just to fill up on some worship, fill up on a good word, fill up on some praise, but it doesn't sustain them throughout the week because they didn't store it up. So basically, I'm gonna make this relate to finance in a sense. This can be, translated into so many different aspects of your life, but I want to specifically touch on the area of finance. Now, financial literacy doesn't mean that you have to be some sort of expert in finance and just you just got to have some sort of plan. You got to be educated and know how to move around your money, because once you understand the value of the money, then you understand how to actually maneuver it. I understand that life is hard and we have so many different responsibilities and so many things pulling our attention in so many areas, but literally the Bible just simplified it for us in the most basic form possible. All you need to start with is just saving. He's not guaranteeing that everybody's gonna be rich. He's not guaranteeing that, okay, you're gonna, make this abundance of money just from, saving, but it starts you off somewhere. A lot of people, whenever they think about becoming wealthy or making it in this life financially, they just, it's like a dream. It's something that they just, that they aspire towards, but they don't really put in the action, the work that it takes to get there, because they see that it's such a prolonged process, that it's not something that they can just, boom, they work for it and then they get it tomorrow. Everybody just wants that speedy success, that speedy financial freedom. And it's like, financial freedom is not something that is anywhere near speedy at all. Like, unless you got something passed down to you, or unless you win the lottery and actually do something right with it, there is no other shortcut of actually gaining financial freedom. And we need to literally drill that into our minds to understand that it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you just set the foundation. You start something. You got to start something, not just for yourself. And I find it very selfish when a lot of people, they live their lives thinking that it's just for them alone in this time that we're living in. Like, no, you got to understand that you have people coming after you, and not only those people that's coming after you, but also those that are around you now. Like, somebody had to help you with changing your diaper and help you learn how to tie your shoes, and somebody had to help you learn how to do this and do that. So when you're thinking about setting the pace and setting the right foundation for your lineage, then you have to understand that just because you don't have kids, it doesn't exempt you from leaving something behind for those that you love. It doesn't exclude you from working hard, not just for yourself, but for others as well, because you weren't just popped up in this world and you knew how to do everything on your own. Someone had to help you, someone had to train you. That person made a sacrifice, or those people, they made sacrifices so you can be where you are today. So the very least that we can do is at least leave our mark when it comes to finances. I understand that life is not easy for us, but it's not gonna get any easier if we don't do anything to help it get any easier. You get what I'm saying? So you could be working a regular job, you could be working part-time, making minimum wage, whatever it is. You are in total control of the expenses in your life. Many times when we start to make a little bit more money, that's when we start to take on a little bit more responsibility. Oh, okay, I could afford a Hulu membership. It's only $12 a month. It's only $6 a month. Oh, you know what? Let me treat myself. I can get this and I can get that. The more money that we make, and we find ourselves in the same place that we were when we were making less money and still struggling and complaining, because our mindset never changed. We never actually sat down to make a plan and actually budget ourselves. We never said to ourselves, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go in to my this new level of income or this new career of mine. I'm not going to go in with the same attitude and the same mindset that I had before when I was just barely making it, because the only thing that's going to happen if I do that is I'm going to continue to just barely make it, even though I'm making six figures, even though I'm making more than enough to be able to sustain myself. So to kind of touch base also on what I said about a lot of Christians, like, they really just sit there and expect God to just deliver them out of misery and out of debt and out of this. Why would God deliver you out of debt if you just continue to put yourself in debt intentionally? There are so many people that are just utilizing debt in the wrong sense. Now, I'm not gonna go too deep into the purpose, of debt and how you should do it. I could say that for another video. But essentially, credit cards are there to help you build your credit, right? Once you have, built your credit to a certain extent, there's no need for you to continue to rely on credit cards for all of your expenses, especially if you're not going to pay them back. And one trick that I always tell myself whenever I'm utilizing credit cards is never purchase anything on a credit card more than the amount that I have in my account, and more than the amount that I know that I will keep in my account. Like, I may have $500 in my account today, and I only purchased $200 worth of stuff on, my credit card. But out of that $500 that I have on my checkings account, there's, other bills and other expenses coming out, like, utilities and rent and this and the third. So the same $500 that I have today, I'm not guaranteed to have it next week to hold me until the next paycheck. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm thinking about utilizing credit. So like I said, I'm not really going to go too deep because this isn't financial advising kind of video, I can always do that video a little bit for you guys at a different time. But I just want us to get into the idea of actually realizing that all it starts with is just saving. I don't care if you just save $1 a day, if you save $3 a day, you save $20. Let me give you guys a little example. Like, I have a cousin of mine who she kind of joined my brother and his wife and I when we were kind of doing our little pact to save and work towards certain things. So when she joined our pack and she made a commitment to put aside a certain amount every week, which her amount was $20. Now she felt so bad about the fact that she can only give $20 a month, and so she decided that she wants to send it to me through Cash App, so of course we can keep a paper trail of how much is being sent every week, and this, that, and the third. And the thing that I love most, and I don't know whether she realizes this or not, is the fact that yeah, she's sending me $20 a month every week so I can keep for her. That's cool and all, but whenever she would miss a payment, or if she needed to borrow from her own money because she has an unexpected expense, she actually makes it her business to pay herself back. So pay me back temporarily, but she knows that the money is coming to her in a long run. And she felt so bad beating herself up, like, oh my gosh, I can only get 20 every week, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, trust me, it's gonna add up to something. Don't be so concerned about the numbers for now. It's about the discipline that you're developing that's really what's important. So that's really what I appreciated about the whole situation, because even though she knows it's her money, although she's sending it to me, she knows that it's her money, yet she still considers it in her mind as borrowing from me. And like, oh, okay, once I borrow this 20 or this 40 or this 60, I gotta pay it back. And that's what she does. She would double it or triple it, or however much she borrowed, she would pay that back the next, the weeks to come. And so that's really what, God is trying to get us into the habit of, because he really doesn't want us living paycheck to paycheck. He doesn't want us broke and, feeling like we can't make it in life. And we're not living just to be able to pay bills and just for all of our money to go towards the expenses of our lives. No, we're actually supposed to have some left over. And that actually pleases the heart of God when he sees that we're actually exercising the abilities and the tools and the resources that he's given us. And if I was God, I would have seen it as a sign of disrespect when I see people who have the capabilities to be able to save and to gain financial freedom, yet they're not doing it because of their lack of discipline or their lack of desire, their lack of will. And it's very sad because, there's some people, they just don't know. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know. If you weren't educated about some of this stuff before, nobody can blame you. But once you know, then now you have an obligation to fulfill. Now there's literally a ticking timer that is on your life, reminding you every single day, okay, when are you gonna make changes on this? When are you gonna step up on this? When are you gonna make, moves towards this? Because now so now you're held responsible. And that's really what I want us all to get into the habit of doing, is to hold ourselves accountable and put a responsibility on ourselves to make sure that we get ourselves to financial freedom. Even if you do everything in your power right now, your whole entire life, you save as much as you can, you invest, you start to build businesses, you do whatever it is that you do, but you have not attained financial freedom yet, that's okay. Because you know what? You started something. You actually put the seed in the ground, and that's really what's most important. Even if you don't get to live to reap the benefits of all the hard work that you put in, I want you to recognize that that's okay. Because maybe it wasn't meant for you to reap in your lifetime. But I'm telling you, the generations that come after you, you're going to be so happy knowing that you did that. You played a part in that. Not that you're giving them a handout, but you just set the foundation. You laid the foundation for them. So now they have something to build on. And it's not just money. It's also about the education, the literacy part of it. So now that you laid the foundation for your lineage, right? And now when the generation that comes after you, they're already in a structured environment that is already educated about finances, about money, about debt, and about credit, and about just, investing in businesses and ownership and all of that. So they're already ahead of the game. And the more people that are ahead of the game, the less people that are actually out there struggling. I don't know about anybody else, but my biggest thing is I'm so concerned about impact. For me, I just want to impact the world. And I know I'm going to impact the world. I know that it's going to happen. And it's going to happen in so many different ways. Like, God just blows my mind at how, like, when he gives me like a little foreshadowing of my future, like a little glimpse of my future and, you know, what is to come. And I'm like, wow. And that's just what my imagination can handle. Now, you know, the Bible even tells us that God can do above and beyond, you know, anything that we could ever think or imagine. So if what I can imagine right now blows my mind, I can't even begin to imagine what is actually going to happen. So I want us to stop making excuses. Like, it's not that hard. All you got to do is just put a little bit aside every day or every week or every month, however way you want to do it. Just start somewhere. Stop letting your money just run itself. Money is just a piece of paper. Money is just something that's in your bank account, something that gets deposited into your account. What you do with it is what counts. You literally have to be steering the ship. Like, a boat is just a boat unless it has someone to actually steer it in the right direction. It can't move. It can't do anything without somebody actually there, you know, directing it. So the same thing with your finances. It's not just going to grow on its own. You literally have to be in control. You have to take control. You have to make up your mind to be like, you know what, from this day forward, and stop. This is another big thing I want us all to stop doing. Please stop looking at where you are now and then where you want to be, because that's really just gonna slow you down. If you're gonna use it for motivational purposes, yeah, that's totally fine. But if you know that that's only gonna like just slow you down even more, and if you know that that's only going to cause you more pain, don't look at the destination. Just look at the work that you're putting in now. Just work now. Do what you got to do. Because if the ants, like, we're talking about ants right here, we step on them without even seeing. Like, we don't even see half of the time when we step on them. But they don't just, in their minds, like, you know what, let me just, you know, take this little piece of food and eat it right now because I know I'm going to die right now. Anyway, somebody just going to step on me. So it's no sense of me taking some back to our secret hiding spot or our home or wherever we store our food. Like, I don't think they think like that, because we wouldn't be seeing so many of them always heading to a certain direction with a little piece of crumb on their backs. So why is it that us as human beings, people who, we're literally beings, like, we have so much more power, we have so much more than the ants have to offer, and yet we, you know, we get we get some sort of block in our road, we get something thrown at us, we're not making enough money, or we get this debt, something, and then we're ready to just give in, we're ready to claim defeat and just feel so hopeless. Let's stop doing that. You don't have to be rich to put something aside. Just put something aside and give, and that is going to train you to start giving you discipline. Start training your mind to be more disciplined when it comes to your finances. We all have strengths in different things that were so powerful in our lives. Some people, they're very strong in their athletic abilities. Some people, they're very strong in their household. They're the head of their household. You know, they're, you know, the person who is like the man of the house, you know, the leader of the household. There's some people, they're very strong at their job, what they do. Like, we're all strong in different areas. So let finance become one of those things that you can add to that list of your strengths. Don't let finance beat you. Finance is not here to beat us. Get educated. You don't have to become an expert at, you know, financial literacy and, you know, just knowing the ins and outs of this and that. Just start putting a little bit aside. That's it. Put a little bit aside and put enough discipline in your mind to know that you cannot touch that. You cannot touch that. And so, you know, going back to my cousin, with that 20 that she was doing for a while, it wasn't even a year. And then something came up that it was an emergency situation that she actually needed to use that money. And guess what? It was there for her. She was able to ask me for it. And then boom, I just sent it to her. I just wired it to her because it was sitting there waiting for her. Imagine if she didn't have that. She was struggling just to give 20 away, just to give 20 a week to me to put aside for her. So if she was struggling just to give that, do you really think that she would have been ready for that situation had she not had something set aside? So use that as some sort of like foundational ground for yourself. Ask yourself, yo, if an unexpected expense or something happens right now, will I be okay? Especially at a time like this where this is really crazy what's going on right now, ask yourself, will you be okay? And that should be enough for you to be like, you know what, let me start now, because the later I wait to start, the more pain I'm putting myself in. The later I wait, because I'm like, oh, I'm already too old, or oh, I'm already too far ahead into this and to that, oh, I don't make enough. No, put all the excuses aside. Put all of that aside. Don't look at what you don't have. Don't look at the amount of time that you don't have or the amount of time that you've already wasted. None of that matters. None of it matters. You start now. Now. And then within that short period of time that she was, giving me that money to put aside from her, she had a couple $100s. Like, I don't remember if it was around $500-600, like around there. That may not seem like a lot to some of you, but somebody just hand you $500 or $600 in the palm of your hands right now. Tell me that you won't be happy. And imagine that it's your own money. Like, wow, I did this. When she got it, she was so excited that she was like, wow, I can't wait to pay this back. Like, I want to start this again. I want to actually pay that money that I just got back, because I wasn't planning on using it. This is just something that was an emergency that I needed to use it for. And she has all the right to use it, because look, she worked for it. And at least now she knows there's one step, there's one thing that she can do to get closer to being financially free, which is just putting something aside. Something. Don't look at the numbers. Just whatever you're able to put away, you put that away, and you will be okay. You will be okay. Whatever you choose to do with that money is totally up to you. I'm not saying to put that money aside so you can become rich. No. You can put that money aside and do whatever you choose to do with it, but build that mindset, build that hunger, build that kind of strength and that discipline, because that's really what's the driving force of our lives, is our discipline. So thank you guys so much for taking out the time to, hear me out. I hope that you guys are on an amazing, powerful role in your lives where you guys are just like working and you guys are hustling and learning to keep the money that you make. You can make as much money as you want, but if you can't keep it, that's a big problem. That's a major, major problem. And I can elaborate on that on another video, of course. But I just really, really wish the very best for all of you guys. And even for myself, I'm not financially free. I am by no means some, finance expert or, nothing like that. I just know the little bit that I know, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So hopefully you guys can share it with somebody else. That being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let me know how you guys feel. If you guys have any questions, whatever it is, I'm here. Thank y'all. Bye.